Hey guys, this is a review for the Twisted Wonderland manga. This is another try by Disney to incorporate their lore or known franchises and characters into a Japanese manga anime style of story. It was done several times before. I think the most famous one is the Final Fantasy collaboration with Kingdom Hearts. There was also a manga called Kirara Princess, which lately has also been released in a renewed manga format. Disney has also done some movie adaptations into manga. They've done the Beauty and the Beast, The Princess and the Frog, Tangled, Frozen 2 for some reason, but not the first, by renowned artist Arina Tanemura. Now, Twisted Wonderland is a manga that is based on a phone game, a gacha mobile game from I think 2019 in Japan, and also it came later to USA. Now, I have not played the game and I'm not that interested right now. I'm too much knees deep in a different gacha, Arknights. I'm in love. But I really did love the designs and the overall concepts, and that was enough for me to go and try the manga adaptation. I didn't really mind it was based on a game. I mean, I just bought the first volume and I was like, yeah, maybe it's gonna suck, but okay, so then I won't continue with this. But I mean, the art was so beautiful that I just said, like, well, at least I'll have the first volume. Well, I turned out to like it quite a lot, and I instantly bought the whole 4 volumes. I'm referring to the 4 volumes as a whole, since this is like the first arc of the story. And you should understand that the first 4 volumes are pretty much a closed, standalone story. Now, I wouldn't say that in my natural opinion, just like by observing this story, I would have expected that there could be a continuation, but I know that the main character in the next volumes or in the next arcs is not gonna be the main character from here. So I don't know if we're gonna see that main character again or not. I really liked him, by the way. But if that's his whole story, then okay. I mean, I guess I could accept that as like a complete story. So basically, this is another isekai manga. The main character is called Yuken, and he's Japanese, which I think a little surprised me because, I mean, it's about the Disney franchise, so I kind of thought that the main character is gonna be like American, maybe, if it's an isekai, but no. And also, I think he's a professional or some kind of high-level kendo athlete. Now, the book starts with a measly 10 pages maybe of his real life from before he's getting isekai'd. But that was actually enough to give some pretty sympathetic characterization of him and a friend of his. And I actually liked the dynamics between them. I would even stretch to say that one of the things that held me throughout the story was just wanting to see like their interaction again, or like wanting to see them meet again or something like that. Now, you need to understand that, at least from my understanding, because again, I did not play the game and I'm probably not gonna play the game. from my understanding, the main character is not described in the game. Like, the player is the main character. It should be self-insert. So when they created the manga, they needed to invent the main character and his world, basically. So I guess it's kind of funny that for me, that was one of the things that were the most interesting for me in reading this. But I guess it's kind of inevitable since, again, I did not play the game. What I'm trying to say here is that I think the main character they created and his background and characterization is actually, I would say, pretty good. So if you're like me and you have not played the game and you're like wondering how will this work for you without playing the game, I actually think that it does work. Moving on to the story, so he's getting isekai'd into like this school of magic, like kind of like a Harry Potter sort of story. And he's getting assigned to one of the dorms there. Now, the Disney connection is that in this school, there are several dorms, and each of them is sort of like based or like worships or like follows one of a main like 7 Disney villains they chose for this story. I don't know how they chose those villains in particular, or are there gonna be like more villains in the future or what? I don't know, but it is what it is. So the villains that have their own dorms in this academy are Scar from Lion King, Ursula from The Little Mermaid, the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, the Evil Queen from Snow White, Maleficent from The Sleeping Beauty, Jafar from Aladdin, and Hades from Hercules. Now, the first arc, which is again a complete story, a standalone story on its own. It's only 4 volumes and they were all already released in English by Viz Media, is centered around the Queen of Hearts dorm. So this story basically has references, ideas, and designs from Alice in Wonderland. There's not much interaction with any other dorm in this story. They do show some characters from other dorms, but I don't think that they visited any other dorm. If they did, it wasn't very memorable for me. Now, I love the European sort of Victorian design of Alice in Wonderland, so for me, this arc was perfect design-wise. Reminded me a little of the Magical Girl manga Sugar Rune, which I love also. So yeah, this is the type of design you're mostly gonna be seeing, and I thought it was amazing, and also the art style is just incredible. I mean, really, like, maybe one of the prettiest art styles I've ever seen. And from what I see online, the artist, this is her first manga. I don't know how is this possible. I would love to see, I would love to read anything from her because it's so beautiful. But maybe it's the place to say that this story is by the creator of Black Butler, which is another anime I did not see, but it's very famous. Kuro Shitsuji. Maybe you can write in the comments if you find any resemblance story-wise between the franchises. I don't know. So anyway, the main character is getting assigned to this dorm, and it appears that the headmaster of this dorm is a very tyrannical, lawful, authoritarian, dress-wearing, high-heeled brat, I guess you could say. And the story is basically the main character and the group of guys that he's making friends with in this academy that are all sort of trying to rebel against the tyrant, the headmaster, or at least, in the very least, try to find a way to get along with him. Now, if you're like me and you're finding it hard to not ship beautiful boy characters that has like a deep connection or past or chemistry or any sort of an interest in relationship, so that's gonna be a book for you, because I mean there are so many boy characters and actually they are all pretty deep and profound and relatable and reliable, and the dynamics in the relationship are pretty distinct and it's like really easy to ship them. It's all, I guess that this is how they wrote it. I mean, I think that this is what they wanted to get from the audience, but anyway, it got me. So if that's what you're looking for, you're gonna get it in a handful. Now, as for my opinion about the story, now don't go into this manga expecting like a revolutionary large-scale adventure with twists and turns and like a very complicated plot. No. It's basically just these guys doing their school chores. But the dynamics between them is actually kind of exciting and heartwarming, and the characters are written well enough for you to want to continue reading this. I would even say some of them exceeded my expectations in psychological depth, and like the last volume or maybe even 2 volumes go down pretty deep into the experience, the psychological experience of the main villain or antagonist. Actually, it's hard to call him that, he's too cute and relatable to treat him as a villain or antagonist, but you get it. Now, as for the ending, I'm not gonna give huge spoilers here, but considering the fact that the main character is not the main character of the next arc, I'm not sure I like the way they ended the stuff with him. I don't know. I mean, I hope we're gonna see him in future arcs in this story. I don't know yet. If I'm gonna read the next arc, it's only when it's gonna fully come out to the US. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Overall, I recommend this manga if you like Disney, if you like pretty boys, and if you like this sort of art style. I mean, like this sort of this European kind of like vibes of designs and the art style, which is amazing in my opinion. That's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and maybe leave a comment. See you soon.